103.9.
Heartbeat FM, home of gospel music.
Usisileleli Afrika, naluphakamisu kondolayo, izwa imithandazo yethu. Nkosi, sikelela thina, lusapho lwayo, lulela buluka sitshaba sa Yesu.
Thank you so much and welcome to Heartbeat FM. It's exactly 9 minutes and 30 seconds past 1 o'clock. And welcome to this special broadcast on the frequencies of 103.9 FM and also 107.4 FM. We would like to extend a special warm welcome to the Deputy Minister in the Presidency in South Africa, Ms. Thembi Siweya. Right here at our Heartbeat FM studios here in George. Now, Minister, thank you so much for being here. We know that you are passionate about promoting a culture of reading and writing. We also know that you've recently visited the Tembelicha Primary School and also the Masibambane Secondary School, part of your back to school program. And seeing that you have a very busy schedule, we are very honored in having you here today. Welcome, and how do you feel being in the studios of Heartbeat FM?
Thank you, and good day to the listeners and my colleagues with me. We're really excited as the presidency to be here, especially because this is the first time the MDDA is funding Heartbeat FM. So I'm really excited. I've been looking forward to coming. I actually had to make an apology in cabinet and request that I'm requesting to go and see the studios, but importantly to come and see where government and taxpayers' money is going to.
Thank you so much. Now, Deputy Minister, really, once again, thank you so much for the good work being done for our radio station, Heartbeat FM. Now, especially with the state-of-the-art studio equipment assisting us or being able to compete with the mainstream media in our area. Deputy Minister, why do you think it was important for you just mentioned the MDDA, why do you think it was important for the MDDA to assist and give us this kind of support?
Look, government is intentional in terms of transforming the community media landscape. When we were given a mandate in 2019, part of the things that we said was, one, we must go to places that we have not been. MDDA should be able to touch communities that it has not touched. We need to change how we do things, and that's why it's important. But you see, to transform our communities, to make them to be at the same level with those that have, you need to give them which is the best standard in the world. And we are happy that we are giving you digital studios, first class, at the top of the notch. The only worry that I always say to community radio platforms is that your board and others must worry about the fact that now you have been trained to utilize this equipment. You are at a competitive level to can be recruited to other more commercial platforms where they're utilizing their spaces. But we want to do this because we want our communities to be empowered. When you have this, you will engage with our communities, clearer communication, better studios, advanced. In all the programs that what the station stands for, you will be able to do them. The ease of this gives you an ease of doing business as a community media platform. And that's why we're excited that we also resolved that the history of MDDA was that projects were funded and they were ghosts. So we make sure in all the projects that are funded, we must physically go and see what is it that we're spending on, so that we can be able to account to South Africans. We can go back to Parliament and tell them, you gave us money, this is where the money has been. We have seen the project is existing, but also to come and see you and to encourage you that you must know, even if you are in a community media space, you are loved, you are relevant, you are not a by the way thought. You are an important sector of society in assisting us to reach our goals of the NDP.
Absolutely. Deputy Minister, in this specific area, in the Garden Route, the Karoo area, the SABC, they're also reaching a lot, thousands of listeners. Are there any particular reason you didn't say no and still gave Heartbeat FM this support despite the SABC being around here?
The MDDA is existing for you. Government intentionally in 2003 advanced an act which informs the existence of the MDDA to empower the community media sector. So what the MDDA is doing actually through its board is that they are living up to what the act says, and that it says it must empower and fund community print, community TV, and community radio, and that is what we are doing. So you are a correct recipient with no shame. You are a correct recipient. Importantly is that at least you have seen that the MDDA can actually come and assist the community in the Garden Route to advance the objective that the station wants to live up to. So there's really no problem. Of course, the SABC is our sister. In fact, they have got an obligation to also fund the MDDA, and in those funds, then the MDDA is able then to channel them to ensure that we touch as many community platforms as possible.
Deputy Minister, unlike some other radio stations, Heartbeat FM, like you just heard at the media briefing, never been off air ever since its existence. It was always been sustaining itself. What do you think government can do to help community radio stations to sustain them?
Look, so this is part of government. So when we have assisted you with equipment, we have assisted you with some form of Sentech fee. We are trying to say you must remain on air. We want to congratulate you for that. We receive a lot of complaints. Right now, Sentech is switching off. When I wake up in the morning, my WhatsApps are full. DM talk to Sentech, and I tell them Sentech is not even within us. It's with communication. It's not in the presidency. But of course, we're one government, and they're complaining about sustainability. The one thing that we've been doing, and every time I'm happy in the meeting, and I hope they were not saying it because they want to make me smile or they're afraid because they are here. We must tell our political leaders that a Minister of Infrastructure in the province, a communication plan is not complete if it does not have a sector of community media. So a person who's heading your communication, when they give you a communication plan, you must not find joy in saying, I'm going to put you on commercial media platforms and they don't write about a community media. When you take money and advert, we must be intentional about it. Come and advertise in the community media space. But we also want to encourage our boards and our CEOs in our community radio stations. Let's formalize our things so that when GCIS wants to come and place an advert, your paperwork and your CSD is up to standard. We must start to move away from not wanting to account as a people, to be responsible owners of this. Actually, you're not even owning, you're just holding on behalf of the community. We also want to encourage, and I'm happy when I was working, I saw you are also doing some form of marketing, you are selling your t-shirts, all that you are channeling towards the revenue stream. Ideally, we are continuing to have conversations with Sentech to say, how can we assist our community radio stations so that they can be able to survive. And I'm happy that even in the granting of the board, of course, it's not enough. So, for example, when we have given you the 451 for Centec, we're trying to say we want to. But I'm happy you're also participating in other platforms of joint community radio stations. Let's share the ideas. We're a bigger communities. We've got problems with other radio stations, community radio stations that are not making it well. We must take the best practices that you are doing here. You must share it with us. When you are called in, is it the National Community Radio Forum? Go there and share the practices so that we can help others. But it is commendable. I mean, you started in 2014 to date, and Centec fees can be very strenuous. But I'm happy that you are still remaining on air, especially because I was also asking, are you renting here? So it means you must pay rent and but you're able to sustain yourself. We want to congratulate you for that. And for the leadership. I also want to assume that a majority of our presenters are young people. When I look at you, looks can be deceiving, which is important as a platform to share skills.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also want to inform you that we also boast into having our very own TV platform. You can see the cameras around in the studio. So we're also broadcasting right now on our TV platform called Heartbeat TV. So that's also something that we
is
added.
it?
Yeah.
I must check it out. I must follow it. Oh, okay. That's nice. Yes.
Yeah.
It's important. We must inform content. We must dominate the spaces that we've never entered into. And community media platforms have got the followership and the listenership. I'm hearing you talking about the listenership of SABC. But what we know is that, and our research tells us that community media platform, our people are found here. Our people are listening right now in their numbers, and they are many. So we must not undermine the space that the community media platform plays. And we must utilize it to connect with our people and to tell them what is it that we are doing on a daily basis to transform their lives.
Just to inform our Afrikaans listeners, dis nou 20 minute oor 1 is Heartbeat FM waarna jy luister. Ek is in gesprek met die adjunct minister in die presidensie van Suid-Afrika, and dis natuurlik mevrou Thembi Siweya, Ms. Thembi Siweya, and we're talking to her, visiting our brand new studios and the opening and the launch taking place today. Deputy Minister, unlike there are also talks and plans about of 30% government advertising to community radios. When will this 30% advertising plan, when will it start?
It has started. You know what is the problem? And I'm happy he's here.
It started
So
already.
I'm going to take his number. He's going to be my friend. I'm talking about the NEC. It has started. What we have realized is that departments are not coming to play. And we don't have an instrument to enforce it. You understand what I'm saying? So we'll call Government Communicators Forum. We'll talk about it. GCIS will put it in their plans. We'll talk to communicators. But when communicators go back, they decide what they want to do. What we need to start looking into. So, for example, I can tell you, GCIS is meeting that target of the 30%. But other departments, it depends whether the political head and the head of communication do actually understand why we're enforcing the 30%. You get it? So what we've been discussing is that maybe we need to go back to Parliament and find a more biting and a more committing sort of documentation that must commit them, and which will make them to know that if you don't do it, there must be consequence management. Because currently there is not necessarily a lot of consequence management. What we rely on is that when we are saying to you, let's do it to empower our community media sector, let's do it because we want to develop our communities, there should be that coherent and understanding. And sometimes it lacks. There is instances where, for example, I know the Department of Justice is doing that 30% faithfully. So they are utilizing that space. They do it even through GCIS and channel resources and communicate with our people. We continue to want to encourage our leaders wherever they are. Let's spend in the community media sector. The business community which is living around here, it will not make sense when you want to take your advertising space and go and want to advertise in some commercial media platform when you can advertise here, where your consumers are listening here,
Locally.
where they will walk and come here. We need to do that. So we need to activate our people, teach them that let's utilize the community media space. We are not going to abandon it. We need to tighten it. it must have consequence management,
Yes.
which it lacks. But that needs some form of parliament process so that it can be taken serious that we're serious about the 30% set aside.
And we trust you with doing that. We leave it into your capable hands. You will
Thank
handle that in Parliament. I'm also going to have a word with Alderman Virgil Giereke. He's in the studio also, MEC Interview, which is well known to us. I just want to finish with you, Deputy Minister. We just spoke about the state-of-the-art equipment you've been supporting community radio stations with. What can government do to invest more in training also beyond equipment handed over to community radio station training?
So GCIS, okay, the training that GCIS provides, for example, is once you are given a grant, they use their discretion and then they call you to come in. But there the training is more about how to report on the money we have given you. First tranche must come, then you must do this. Second tranche, you must submit this. If you don't submit, we'll hold the funds. And I think the training that you're crying about, and that needs collaboration with your commercial media space, is about training our you call yourself presenters? Yes, you are talking about that training. I know, for example, NCRF also has been talking about that transfer of skills. That is something MDDA can look into, is to create for you a network with those that are already there. They come and share best practices. You get what I'm saying? But I'm hoping that the board member is here. Actually, somebody else somewhere once raised it, that we hear you. You take us to train us about how we must spend the money and how we must account for it. We also want training in relation to our DJs, how this and this and this. I mean, even now, you're only trained about how you must utilize this. But I hear what you're saying. But the other most important training is that when you are here, we are hoping that the station can keep you longer. You are also a trainer yourself. So when you recruit somebody that comes, you should be able to also transfer that training in some. So it's a
and
two
share
parallel
that
way.
experience.
Yes, which is important. Like I'm saying, my only worry, I keep telling them, is that because we're transforming this sector, we're giving you these things, they are coming to come and poach you. And we must find ways that after we've invested so much money in you, how do we retain you in this platform?
Absolutely. Minister, Deputy Minister, now my very last question. There's more than 200,000 listeners listening to us right now. Now, a lot of community radio stations, they've been torched or vandalized. What are your message to our listeners of this radio station for them to protect their asset?
What is important, and I always say this, is that DM Thembi Siweya can come today. I do the placard and then I leave. Ne? President reshuffles me and I leave. Ne? This equipment does not belong to government. It belongs to you. It's like when somebody wants water and then you go and you vandalize a clinic or you go and ban a hospital. And I'm happy the MEC of Infrastructure is here. We must start to treat our infrastructure that it belongs to you. It does not belong to an individual who is assigned a particular role for a particular period. And we must teach our people that it's well and fine to be frustrated. But what result will it yield? That when you are frustrated by one thing, you come and you vandalize the studio. This studio, the community must protect it. It is said that last year, the July, is it last year or the year before, the July unrest, where our people just decided, because I want this and that, you're going to vandalize a community radio station. And the community radio station, by the way, is there to empower you.
Yes.
This is a platform to tell our people, you have passed matric, there's NSFAS, they will hear it here. You want to know the TVET colleges are opened, it's here. There are job opportunities. This is the platform. There's census, there's COVID, there's this is what you must do, this is the platform. We are really asking our listeners, let's share the message. Let's be frustrated, protest, express yourself, it is fine. Actually, it is good that you must hold your government accountable. You must go and tell them, I'm not happy about this. But please don't vandalize infrastructure. We have got targets to meet. We want to touch as many community radio stations as possible. When you come and you ban this one, you are delaying the next people to to receive, because it means now we must come back and respend when we have spent money here.
Yes.
And we don't want that. Let's have foresight to build our communities. We want a developed South Africa, and let's not delay ourselves. Delay ourselves not because we are saying don't complain, don't raise dissatisfaction, but don't touch, because the touching will not bring what you want. And we must discourage that. And that I always say, it must go beyond party political orientation.
Yes.
Because South Africa belongs to all of us. We want to live in a beautiful South Africa, developed with nice infrastructure. We don't want dilapidated things. This thing is beautiful. Look, I'm hoping that in 10 years' time when I come, I'll find it nice like this. You will not put water in the equipment and destroy it. When you want water, you go drink, you come back. No sweets and pies there. You know, a pie can just be flaky.
Yes.
And so on, and you take care of it. Please, let's take care of our infrastructure. It does not belong to Thembi. No. It does not belong to him. It belongs to you. And this is your money as taxpayers. Let's respect it for all of us.
And the broader community. We also have a large online community and community abroad listening to Heartbeat FM. And here at Heartbeat FM, we made it possible that people right now, they can listen to us in studio and they are able to see us in studio with a live studio cam, separate from the listeners listening to us on normal radio now. What is your message to our ordinary listeners? Any last words from you?
I'm looking for a word, yummy. Okay, so this is big. I like this. This is beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. South Africa loves. I don't even know. Like, okay, so let's promote the area. They must come and visit George. They must come here. The Garden Route. South Africa is a beautiful place. We're trying to sort out the electricity crisis. That's our message. We're having a State of the Nation address on Thursday, where the president is going to talk about what is it that cabinet is planning to do himself, leading the team for the financial year 2023-2024. Please participate and listen so that you can be able to hold us accountable. But do visit South Africa, a beautiful country, beautiful place where we are, and make tourism grow bigger. And them coming to play in that space, we're going to create jobs. We've got targets that we need to meet in terms of job creation, and tourism is one of those sectors. And we love you. I'm very happy about what I'm seeing. Okay, that's beautiful.
That's just
good.
That's just a little bit I'm showing you. You must come again so that I can show you more.
And you do have followership, no?
Yes, a lot. That's a lot.
Actually, you know what? We are also more interested in now. Sorry, now I'm talking a lot. Is that to a certain extent? Remember, our act talks about you must have an ICASA license for us to help you with the TV thing. And I've been saying we need to re-clarify it and expand it. And then they will be saying to me, no, we can fund what, but I'm not sure how. We must not avoid this space. It's an important space because our people are expanding into the space of online TV, whatever you call it.
Absolutely. Deputy Minister, thank you so much for coming by. We hope to see you soon back in the Garden Route, more specifically here at Heartbeat FM. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
The MEC, Tertia Simmers, also with us in the studio, well known to our listeners. MEC, welcome, and welcome to you as well.
Hi, goedemiddag Christo. Good afternoon Christo to you now Heartbeat FM listeners. Also to those that are streaming us live. It's great to be back in my own district.
It's good to have you here. MEC, what kind of support can the station, Heartbeat FM or community stations expect from the government in the Western Cape?
Well, look, thank you for that question, Christo, because indeed, through our various departments and their line items in terms of communication, at the moment, the last time I checked this from an infrastructure perspective, we spend around about almost 80% of our line items spent on community radio stations in the Western Cape through our various departments. So we already have that physical commitment because we do understand the importance of community-based radio stations, and more so because you've come a long journey as Heartbeat FM and you reach almost 250,000 people as we speak. And this is truly an ideal platform for us to spend our communication budget on as well.
Quite interesting. MEC, why do you think, how important are community radio stations for the government?
Well, indeed, and I'll look at this from my portfolio's perspective because infrastructure entails human settlements, public works, roads, and all the other infrastructure-related matters in the Western Cape. And we use these community-based radio stations or the platform, even your live streaming platform, to actually, firstly, as the DM said, to empower our community with knowledge. So they understand what is their rights, how they can gain access to the rights in the Western Cape, but also so that they can hold us accountable, which for me is a key medium. And which better medium than to utilize the radio and your live streaming mechanisms, because in the Western Cape, more so in our non-metro based areas, community-based radio stations reach far more people than the printed media at the moment. So this for me is an ideal tool from my portfolio perspective. And also to echo what the DM said, it's your infrastructure, you must look after it.
Yes.
And that's what I always echo when I engage our communities wherever I go in the Western Cape.
MEC Summers, are you by any chance planning some regular programs government can do with stations like Heartbeat FM?
Well, indeed, for the 23-24 financial year, what we are planning post our SOPA and obviously when our provincial budget day occurs, Cabinet are planning to do provincial-wide roadshows. As you are aware, I do visit each district twice a year. I utilize Heartbeat FM and other community-based radio stations from my portfolio perspective, but our community and our listeners and our live streamers will also see this year that my sister departments, my colleagues will also be utilizing this medium for the 23-24 cycle, because once again, we recognize the importance that community-based radio stations play in empowering all of our people, irrespective of race, political orientation, and even your faith that you believe in. For us, it's how can we empower you equally and fairly, and this is the best medium to do so.
Thank you so much. It's the MEC Tertius Summers talking to us right on my far right-hand side, representing the Garden Route District Municipality. We have Alderman Virgil Gericke. Alderman Gericke, thank you so much. Welcome. As the District Municipality, how do you feel when about the Deputy Minister in the Presidency just unveiled the brand new studios of Heartbeat FM?
Yeah, Chris, good afternoon to you and to the listeners outside. We, as the district municipality, I am standing in for the executive mayor today because of other official functions that he's performing. We welcome the Deputy Minister Thembi in our region here this afternoon. A wise word spoken by the Deputy Mayor in the studio and to the viewers and to the listeners. And we are elated as a district municipality of what we are seeing, state-of-the-art equipment, the investment of government, and also the national government making it possible for people to access information. This is key because knowledge is power. So we are very, very, very grateful to the national government for making this investment possible. You can see people are very grateful this afternoon also for us attending here. But people say thank you to the Minister, to the National Department, and to all government institutions for contributing towards this initiative, particularly also the MDDA, ICASA, and everybody that made it possible. We are grateful for your contribution in this regard. Yeah.
Alderman Gericke, as the district municipality, how are you supporting the station to ensure its sustainability?
Well, Christo, we believe in the sustenance of the station. We believe, we've just heard beautiful reports. We've just heard that this station has not collapsed. There was not financial problems with the station and so on. It is commendable. This is a great report to attract some investment also from the district municipality. It is a great report for the district municipality to look into how we can contribute other than what we are at the moment contributing. You must understand that we occupy the space regularly. We come here to report on our annual reports. We come here to report on our IDP. We come here to report on many other items that we discuss in council. And I can tell you now that the access to community radios is a frequent topic in our council meetings, as we demand that our people have the right to know. They must know. We say knowledge is power. And therefore, we support every initiative taken by Heartbeat in this regard. We support the board. And if needs be, we will go back and submit to the district mayor, the executive mayor, that there's a call for some other intervention. We will submit that to the council as well.
It's the voice of Alderman Virgil Gericke. On his right-hand side, the Deputy Minister in the Presidency, Ms. Thembi Siweya, and also on her right-hand side, MEC Tertius Summers. That's our conversation for today, 24 minutes away from it being 2 o'clock. Just stay right here. Stay to Heartbeat FM.
listening to Heartbeat FM, your heartbeat for Christ.
Jesus, you're awesome in power, mighty to save me. You've given me all that I needed, life in abundance.